Hello, 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 everyone. Hello. I hope everyone's having a great evening so far. I am getting a few things up and running, allowing a few of you to hop in before I start on my rant about taxes. So, I will be covering a few tax deadlines and updates and things to look out for throughout the year, so that everyone's on beat with it, and then also kind of cover some changes in the tax laws that happened that may have affect your refund. If you receive your refund or filed your taxes and you're like, oh dang, this is a lot smaller than last year, whatever. But yes, y'all. Hello, hello, hello. Don't be shy. Don't be shy at all. Okay. Okay. All right. I want to make sure I have everything open so I can see when y'all comment. Hello, Dr. Melissa. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. All right, y'all. Also share with your friends and family. Hit the share button. Oh, that's one thing I did actually forget. I almost forgot the people on Instagram, y'all. Oops. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. All right. Like I said before, for those of you that are hopping on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, um, thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm about to get started shortly. Just making sure that I give y'all some updates and deadlines so that y'all could be aware of. All right, y'all. So and I'm gonna just start talking as we're rolling, so that people watching the rerun, the replay, could just get into the facts. So as you may have heard or known, taxes officially began on January 23rd this year. Right. So yes, our employers or people that hired 1099 people, they had to get everything brought in by the 31st of January. But the IRS officially started accepting taxes on the 23rd of January. And they actually started giving out refunds to those that had the earned income credit last week. So if you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I'm following children, whatever, and I filed since the 23rd or maybe a week after that, and you're still wondering, okay, where my tax refund is, it's just because the IRS started releasing refunds a little late. And that's normal. They do it basically every year. But yes, y'all, some things to be aware of. So I'm going to touch on some things to be aware of that changed from last year. So, or maybe you've seen it and don't know like where it came from or whatever the case may be. So one of the things is the earned income credit and the child tax credit. So it did decrease from last year. A lot of the tax credits and things like that did change from last year to this year. So you may have seen, I know some of my business owners got to take advantage of the family sick and leave credit in 2020 and 2021. And that credit was a huge credit because it was up to a little over $15,000 in just credits alone for that credit. And a lot of business owners are able to take advantage of it. So it really picked up like my self-employed people, the self-employed people's refunds because of that credit. Now moving into 2022, it doesn't the credit is not allowable anymore. So a lot of the people are like, oh shoot, I went from having a huge massive refund in 2021 for 2021's taxes, and now for 2022's taxes I'm owing. And I'm finding that a lot of people throughout this tax season are in that predicament as well, where they're owing, or they're like, oh, shoot, I came from a larger refund and now it's significantly smaller because of the decrease of the child tax credit, the decrease in the COVID aids as well. Um, y'all, if y'all have any questions, you can drop it in the chat and I'll make sure that I address them. But I just wanted to make sure that I get the Instagram one rolling as well, so that if they had questions. Okay. All right. Cool minutes. Hello, y'all. Okay. So tax deadlines for my business owners that have S corps, that have partnerships, or maybe you don't even know if you have a partnership or not. You're like, ooh, I think maybe I put multiple members on Sunbiz, but I don't know. I have people that come and they're like, I don't know if I'm a partnership or not. Or I put my kids on my LLC and they just think they're just a regular single member LLC. And I'm like, hey, no, you put your kids on there, you're a partnership. Or, hey, you have multiple managers or of your organization, then you just made your organization a partnership. I'm talking about Sunbiz alone. Now, some people, they may want to switch from being a partnership to a sole member entity, and that's just a simple tax form. You can go ahead and submit that tax form to the IRS, but you also have to submit one to the Department of Revenue, so they're on the same page as far as knowing, hey, you're changing your entity structure. But for those entities types, pass-through entities, that's what they're essentially called, which are my S corps, my partnerships, LLPs. Those, your taxes are coming due on March 15th. So don't sit and wait. Don't think you have until April. You can file an extension, but extensions are just for the tax filing, not the payment. So if you're going to owe in taxes, and that goes for your regular individual and corporate returns as well. If you know you're going to owe or you owe, then the extension does not extend your payment. You still have to pay by the deadline. You still have until April 18th is the hard deadline this year for the federal income tax. So you have until that date to make sure you make the payment for your taxes to the IRS. And it could be an estimate. Maybe you're like, hey, my accountant told me I think I may owe around $2,000, or I may owe around $3,000. Go ahead and send that payment off to the IRS, because what it does is they have some money when you actually submit your filing. If you do a refund, then you just get that amount, the rest of the amount refunded back to you. So at least you're not going to get penalized for not making a payment, and you're not going to get penalized for failure to pay. Penalized failure to pay, and then the interest as well. And then also, if you are doing an extension for the income tax, you do, for my pass-through entities, that's my S corp partnerships, you do have the option of doing an extension, same way like I said, but it will extend your tax filing until September 15th. So if you're like, yo, there's no way I'm gonna sort through all my stuff, do my bookkeeping cleanup, whatever the case may be, by March 15th, then make sure that you go ahead and file that extension. I know for some of my business owners, they come to me and they're like, yeah, it's March 13th and I'm ready. You're ready for an extension, because at this point you're late. You want to make sure that you're already making the phone call, booking your appointment, because I know a lot of my colleagues that are tax professionals, they don't take new last minute clients, or they charge additional fees to expedite the returns. So make sure that you're booking their appointment. You're not waiting till last minute. March 15th is literally around the corner. It's already March. It's crazy because the year basically just started. But make sure that you're going ahead and doing that. If you are extending your federal, your individual income tax, then you have until October 16th to submit that. Which Both of them give you a 6 months period so that you can have some time to make sure that you get the filing complete. All right, y'all. Any questions? Hello, y'all. Let me see. Hey. Hey, hello, Kyle. Hey, Lakeisha. How's it going? I wish the other platforms would show me who's live with me. Hey. If y'all have any questions, drop it in the chat. I will be answering tax questions tonight as well, and then covering some tips and things like that. Hey, Kyle from ADP. Okay. Hey. Oh yes, yes, Kyle from ADP. Jocelyn was in contact with you. I know she got to actually speak to you and things like that. But nice to meet you on live. What happens if you just filed for your LLC this month? You still have to pay taxes quarterly? Well, next month. So if you filed for your LLC this year, then okay, you legitimize your business. Cool. Now if you generated revenue, and that's if you still was like generating revenue even though you didn't have the LLC last year, then you're still required to report that income. So now that you have the LLC, you can still put that business EIN and name on your Schedule C to attach the income to it. But if you didn't generate any income for it last year, then you're fine. But you don't have to, submit your taxes along with your personal taxes. But if you started generating revenue for it this year, 2023, then your quarterly tax payment will be due by April 15th. Yeah. And that's just your estimated tax payment. So that's different between from your income tax filing. You're just going to go to irs.gov/payments and then submit a estimated tax payment for a Q1 for the first quarter. Yeah. So personal. So single member LLCs file their business returns with their personal return. Question from someone else. Have them drop the question. I don't know why I can't. Hey, Tamara. Yeah, if you have a question from someone else, you could drop it in there. I don't know if you did. Okay. So single member LLC taxes are filed with your personal return. So if you filed your personal return already and you need to file a single member LLC, you have to now amend your tax return, your personal tax return, to add your business into there. So for single member LLCs, hey Eni, what's up? It's the birthday boy on the live. So if you already submitted it, now you have to amend your personal tax return to add a Schedule C, which is going to contain your business income and expenses for the year. And that's for single member LLCs. Partnerships, S corps, they are pass-through entities, which mean, hey, with these, they file their own separate return, but the income and expenses pass through to the owners. So that pass through essentially happens with a Schedule K1. So this K1 is going to show your net income or your net losses for the year. And that's going to be reflected on your personal tax return. So say, hey, I have a partnership and it's two owners. We're 50-50 and we made $10,000 net income on our partnership tax return. Now on my personal tax return via the Schedule K1, I'm now going to have to pay income tax on the $5,000 that I earned from the partnership. But that taxes is actually going to get paid through my personal tax return. So that's why your partnerships, your S corp returns, your LLPs taxes are due before you file your individual taxes before the due date. So individual taxes due date is April, right? April 15th, April 18th. But for your past due entities, it's March 15th. So they make it due ahead of time to kind of say like, hey, these you do these before you do the other one because you need this tax return in order to do your personal tax return. So you do want to make sure you do your business taxes first if they're a past due entity. And then if it's a single member, you do it together. I already filed personal. How do you know how much to pay? So, how do you know how much to pay? Hey, Ray, what's up? So, great question. Oh, wait. You know what? I could put the question on the screen, yo. I forgot. I haven't used this live platform in a while. Okay. Ooh, we lit. Okay. All right. So, how do you know how much to pay? You know how much to pay by doing a calculation. Hopefully, you're doing your bookkeeping. But so at the end of when you're done doing your bookkeeping, after your expenses, say you made $10,000 in income, you had $5,000 in expenses. So now your net income for that quarter is $5,000. I use the quotations because the estimated tax quarters are different from our normal quarters. The only quarter that's the same is our first quarter, and then all the others are a little jinky. But so for that quarter, January through March, now you made $5,000. So based on that $5,000 you made, now you have to calculate your taxes owed. What does this number consist of? It consists of your income tax, which it depends on which tax bracket you're going to fall under. If you have W-2 income and self-employment income, you kind of have to take those into account. But to make it easier on the calculation, you could just go into the tax bracket as if it's just that one. All right, so say it's that the first tax is at 10%. So you know for income tax, I have to pay 10% of the 5,000. All right. So now my first quarter income tax is $500. But I also have an additional 15.3% in self-employment tax that is also encompassed with my estimated tax payment. So now instead of sending 10% for just income tax, you're sending 25.3% for your self-employment tax and your income tax. So 25% of 5,000, well, it's 25.3, but yeah, to make the numbers a little nice, we're just going to say 25% for this. 25%, 1250. So now you have to send a payment of $1,250 to the IRS for the first quarter based on the $5,000 that you made, because it, like I said, it encompasses the self-employment tax and the income tax. Now, half of the self-employment tax is deductible, which means when you, after you're done filing your tax return, some of that money will come back to you. It's just a nice rule of thumb to go ahead and include the full self-employment tax, because you rather be a little over than under, and then having a bigger tax bill at the end of the year, especially if you have W-2 income to put on top of it and all that. Because if you made $5,000 from the business and you made $50,000 from W-2, both of those combined puts you in a whole different tax category than it did when it was just separate from each other. All right, but with the estimated tax payment, you kind of want to put it into two. But this is also why, you you have accountants like myself that do the calculation to make it easy on you. But that's essentially how you do the calculation. For those of you that wanted to do your estimated tax payments, which I highly recommend, especially as we progress with for the next 3 years, everything that Trump kind of put into effect with the COVID relief and the Job Act that was passed when Trump was in office, that had a lot of tax relief for higher earners, income earners. then that's phasing out. So depreciation, incentives, things like that, a lot of that is phasing out. Um, yes, our electric vehicle credit came back for 2023, but it's set to phase out as well. So we do want to make sure, hey, we're making steps to getting comfortable with making those estimated tax payments, because like taxes are inevitable, right? The nature of the game is, hey, what can I invest in? Where can I put my money? What can I do to help decrease my tax burden? But as far as taxes are concerned, they happen. Everyone pays them for the most part. Is how or when we pay them. They can be offset for years, depending on how things are structured. So many people talk about the whole Trump thing. Oh, Trump doesn't pay taxes. He hasn't paid taxes. Da da da. Da. You know, it's strategy. You know, maybe those taxes aren't due right now, but hey, down the line, if they sell an asset or an asset is converted into something else, now the taxes are paid at that time frame. At that time, retirement plans can help with those taxes. Yes, they can. So retirement accounts are great. You do have until April um 18th to go ahead and put money into your retirement for the 2022 year. So look, just say April. You have until April. I like to give people tighter deadlines because y'all like to wait to the last minute. So let's say April. You have until April to go ahead and make sure you're making you deposit money into your retirement account, your retirement plans. Retirement plans, especially if you're self-employed, they are huge, great incentives, great place to not only save for your future, but have a the tax incentive as well, the tax deferment. You can even, if you're a lower income earner, have the savers credit, things like that. So yes, retirement is definitely a good vehicle, as well as you have HSAs, 529 plans. Yeah, the list goes on, y'all. Secure 2.0 Act covers 100% of administrative costs too. Okay, look, Kyle, y'all better connect with Kyle. Kyle, I don't want to butcher your last name. Matusko. Did I say it right? Kyle Matusko. Hopefully I said it right. Kyle Matusko from ADP. Yeah. All right. Did you help with investing? Oh, do I help with investing? Oh, wait. Let me put the question on the screen, y'all. Hold on. Do you have to amend previous years for a single member? Single member, what do you mean? That single member LLC? Do you have to amend previous years for a single member? Give me more clarification on that question. Do you help with investing? It depends on what you're investing into. So I do have quite a few colleagues that I work with. The nature of my game, taxes, bookkeeping, making sure your financials are in order. Pop, pop, we golden. But I do have my colleagues, my close associates that I work with, that I work together with them. So I make sure that they take into account the tax implications as well with the investment strategy that they provide my clients. But it depends on the investing that you're talking about. And I'm gonna stay in your lane, girl. I do investing myself. Little stocks here and there. My crypto is gonna sit there. I'm determined. Oh, I got it. I got your name right. Woo! Okay, y'all get with Kyle, from ADP. But yes, so I do have investment vehicles myself, but I do have colleagues that specialize in that. And I'm a kicker for making sure that you go to somebody that's a specialist in that field, because No one person can know everything. I do not like all one in business. People that do like multiple businesses in one. I personally don't like it. Like you a tax person, and then you have a bounce house, and then you also do catering, like, and it's all in one business. Like, mm, I don't personally like it. So I'm more of a, hey, person that specializes in it. They're gonna master their craft. They're gonna know what they're doing, all that good stuff. So yeah. Edie, why are you jumping around? Edie, I need you to give me clarification on the question you asked. Thank you for helping my algorithm. I see you hopping around in my different. Go ahead, bringing up my views. Also, y'all. So the strategic tax accountants, go visit the website because we did do major updates to the website. It's absolutely phenomenal. Sierra, yes, she did it again. She's amazing. So go ahead and check out our website. We do have a lot of tips and things in there as well. It was for a single member LLC. Yeah, so for a single member LLC that already filed their taxes, yes, they have to amend it. Now, as far as amending previous years, if they had generated income in previous years and they didn't file their taxes for it, then yeah, they have to go back and amend those previous years. Um, uh, sometimes like people feel like, okay, yeah, I could just, coast because yes, I generated income, but I didn't report it. It's nowhere. So, hey, if the IRS they didn't write me a letter, I'm safe. The IRS can go back as long as they want. No, they do have a period that they can go back. But if they find that it was fraudulent or anything suspicious about it, they can go back indefinitely. So, and 9 out of 10, if they want to open that envelope, they will. Um, yeah, and it comes. I come into play with the whole representing and my client, da, 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 and trying to find records. So, how does that work if you're getting a 1099 but operate under your LLC? Okay, so with 1099, that's a great question. So with people that get 1099s, you're still putting it under. You have a few options with 1099 income. You could put it as supplemental income, and that's just on your regular Schedule 1. So the Schedule 1 is going to go over any additional income outside of your W-2 income, investment incomes, those things. Your Or if you're like, hey, I receive this income and it's self-employment income and I have expenses and stuff associated with me generating that income, then you can actually go ahead and put it as put it on a Schedule C as well. So you can go ahead and itemize and put your expenses associated with it. Um, but you don't have to. So some people, they may put a 1099 on their taxes and just do it supplemental without a Schedule C. Or some people, they will do a 1099 and then add the Schedule C as well, so that they can itemize and do the whole write-offs. Now, if you receive a 1099 under your personal name, but it's for your business, this is where it gets a little right. So if you're a single member LLC and you receive 1099 income under your personal name and not your business name, then you can tie that income to the Schedule C. You can just doing the tax preparation, you can tie it together. Now, if it's like an S corp and you received it in your personal name, look, the IRS sees that you personally received that 1099 income, not the business. So when that comes into play, you have to do some accounting on the back end and some extra stuff to rectify it. But you still have to make sure that that 1099 is filed with your personal taxes. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to put it on my business taxes because it was really for my business. They just wrote it out for me. You have to make sure y'all updating your PayPals, your merchant accounts, whatever it is. Because if they send out a 1099 under your personal name, the IRS sees it under your personal name. I had quite a few clients that would come to me and they're like, hey, I received a letter from the IRS. They told me I owe 60K. I don't know. But I wrote it, I put it on my business income. I reflected it there. Look, you reflected it there, but the merchant paid you personally. Look, y'all. Okay. And this lighting popping right. And is the light is. Hello, these dollar lights. Look, get y'all some $100 lights. Or maybe I'm pretty sure it's a lot cheaper these days. But you know what? The economy kind of it's probably more expensive these days. But these are great. I've had them for a couple of years now. Dropped them a few times. Still rolling. All right, y'all. Any other questions? I think that is it. Let me make sure I covered everything. Oh, I also want to mention to stay tuned. I will have an announcement coming up. We're going to be doing a challenge in the Sipping Wealth group as well. So if you have friends, families, make sure that you're inviting them to the Sipping Wealth group because we're going to do a challenge this year for going into the next quarter for the year. So y'all make sure that you are adding your friends and family to the Sipping Wealth group, like I said, so that we could get our money up this year and get this challenge rolling. I'm excited to launch it. Yes, y'all. Best practice for new entrepreneurs and taxes. All right. Awesome. So best practices. Here we go. Making sure that that your business is actually a business. So you want to make sure that you've actually gone through the steps of creating an LLC. You paid the county that you're doing business in, because many counties have county tax to do business in their county. Duval County has that. So to do business in Duval, if you didn't pay Duval County taxes, you technically shouldn't be doing business in their county. But yeah, many counties have that. But you do want to make sure that you actually incorporate your business. Once you do that, you want to make sure you have the EIN. Is the EIN really necessary? No, but it does help tie everything to the business, like a social security number. So that you could tie everything to the business versus it just operating off of your personal name. Also making sure that you are doing bookkeeping. Y'all, like, I know running a business, it's a lot, but you have to make sure that you are keeping track of your income and expenses. It's critical. It is one of the most important things of business, because how are you going to know how to move if you don't even know what happened previously? You don't know if you should buy that new equipment or that new software, whatever, because you don't even know how the old stuff is doing, because you're not tracking anything. You're not tracking your revenues. You're not tracking your product lines. You're not tracking your services. You don't know what's working and what's not. And also, if anyone comes knocking for proof or financial statements, you don't have any. Now you have to pay extra money in order to generate some financial statements, when you could have had those financial statements to make effective decision making, and also so that you can go for that funding, go for that loan, step in front of that investor and say, hey, this is what my business looks like. Hey, I need you to invest $50,000. Why? Oh, I have this product and it's set to generate $3 on every a $3 profit on every product sold. Okay, how long will it take the investor to get their money back? oh, I can get you your money back. Within 2 years, you'll receive a return on your investment. Like, you want to make sure that you have your numbers. Look, if you're not a numbers person, partner with somebody that is, because you need to know your numbers in order to scale in your business, in order to move forward in your business. And that's what makes an unsuccessful business from a successful one. You have to know your numbers. It's critical, it's crucial. As much as you want to sell pies and cakes and your amazing services, you have to know the numbers in order to stay in business and do it effectively. So that is probably one of my big things, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, Autumn. Hey, girl. Hello, Darren. Thank you for joining in. I would say your IG name person, but I know I'm gonna butcher it. I did that. Okay, IG3 did that. Hello, y'all. But yes, for that would be my best practices, my advice for new entrepreneurs, not even just new entrepreneurs in general, because I have business owners that come to me, they've been 7 years in business, and they're like, look, I haven't been record keeping, but I need funding in order to move to the next level. I want to put a truck on the road. I want to do this. And they have no records. And yes, it takes work, but it's necessary work. It's things that need to be done. So yes, y'all. Questions? The numbers are so important. Just posted about this today. Yes. Yes, Autumn. Absolutely, y'all. Look, when I tell you you want to stay in business, know your numbers. If you see that business that didn't make it, I could tell you 9.5 out of 10, they weren't tracking their numbers. They didn't know their numbers. Nope. Like, it's a giveaway, because had you knew your numbers, you would have known, hey, maybe I need to do this. I need to pivot here. I need to do that. You're not tracking your numbers. You're not making your decisions based on the numbers that you're generating. So you want to make sure that you're doing that, y'all. All right. I've been on for quite some time now. Thank you for those that tuned in with me. I'll go live again to launch out the challenge. So I'll be back next week to go ahead and give y'all the challenge for this upcoming quarter. So let's wealth up, y'all. Thank you for tuning in again, like I said, and have a wonderful, amazing rest of your evening, y'all. And let's wealth up. Oh, yes.